Let's see here if I can go over here and pull this up. I want to talk a little bit about the TRMA changes that they put out, and hopefully this will. Well, first of all, there is the shows that are nominated. All right, Sunday Mornings with the Tiki Man, Coastal Confessions with B-Man and Michelle, Tropical Country with B-Dog and Lou, Rick the Sticks Hometown Licks, Event of the Year, Tiki Man Radio Songwriter Showcase Key West Bound, Destination Event of the Year. The Tiki Man Radio Escape to Paradise qualifies that because it's outside of the United States.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
So there you go. We got a lot going on. Put together a little.
There's a lot to vote on.
Yeah. Well, then, let's see here if I can do this. That's our YouTube. There we go. Let me go back over here. And yeah, there we go. All right. So the TRMA put out this information the other day. And it's, a lot of people have complained. Dave Sines really stirred up a lot of stuff this week with his comments. I don't think he was trying to be derogatory about it.
No,
he was not.
Dave Sines is especially somebody who is producing trop rock music. And all of his artists that he's always working with, they're out here gigging. They're living they want to grow the genre, right? But there's always been this thing about it being like a small club, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's really because in order to grow a genre of music, you really have to get everybody involved. You can't just have 600 people voting. Okay,
right,
or 450 people, or whatever it may be. Okay, there's thousands of people out there. If you, even if the Dave had pointed out that the parrot heads have dropped in population.
Yes.
That's why we now have the Margaritaville retirement homes.
I'm waiting for that one.
Soon to come, the funeral homes. Okay.
What are you dropping off?
Can you imagine that? Margaritaville playing 24/7 in the retirement home. Ooh. But anyway, how many times can you listen to 10 Cup Challenge? But anyway,
I can listen to it a lot.
Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite song.
Well, listen, Jimmy's not getting any younger either. All right, and he's had to cancel some gigs because of health issues and stuff like that. So. If he is coming to a town near you, you better get out and see him.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. But anyway, this was put out for the integrity of the nomination and voting process. They want to offer some guidelines. And basically what this was covered, I don't want to go and read all this to you guys, but if you are part of the TRMA, then you probably got this. But I want to hit some of the bullet points here. Let's see here. Reducing the confidence of the membership in the voting process or otherwise contrary to the best interests of the genre as a whole. These factors include, but are not limited to, whether a large number of ballots appear to have come from members joining at a single event or series of events. Now, I wanted to point that out because, there, in the past, and you guys can read along here, let's say Derek and the Tabletops.
Yeah.
Okay? Derek and the Tabletops are traveling around the country. They have a buddy who owns a radio station, okay? Derek and the Tabletops organizational radio programming, okay?
Yes.
And so they go to, let's say, 600 events a year or 30 events or whatever it may be. And every event, they say, hey, come over here to the tent, and you get to sign up, and if you sign up and you vote for us, okay, we'll give you a CD.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
Bribery.
So at that event, let's say 100 people, and that's stretching it. Let's say there's 50 people that all of a sudden join the TRMA. That's not really growing the genre if they're just voting for you. Mm-hmm. They're not joining to support all the artists.
Nope.
And all the radio stations. right?
They're joining to get that kickback.
They're getting that kickback. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, okay? So don't know anybody take that out of context. But that's kind of what they're referring to, okay? So what they're going to do is eliminate those blocks. They're not going to count those blocks, supposedly. Not sure how they figure that out. The extent of which voters in that group are new members or opposed to renewing members. So you kind of, all right, are these renewing members that voted, or are these brand new members, okay? The proximity of the members joining to the casting of the vote or voting deadline, right? So let's say, at the end of this month is when the voting deadline is, and all of a sudden 500 people join and they vote for one person, okay? Whether there appears to be a large number of uniform voting among a group of ballots, whether the voters completed ballots with voters in all categories as opposed to casting incomplete ballots with apparent bias toward particular nominees.
Ballots harvesting.
Yeah, so, well, no, not that. What it basically means is you just go in and vote for Derek and the Tabletops. And you don't vote for everybody else, the Horizon Award or the event of the year or the album of the year or the album cover and all this stuff.
You have to fill out the whole ballot.
You have to fill out the whole ballot.
Vote the whole thing down.
So if you really don't know anything about it, the topic or the genre, you don't cast any real vote other than the one that you've been
coerced into doing.
Coerced into, bribed.
Correct.
By Derek and the Tabletops.
Right. Or Hunter Biden.
Scratch that. That never happened, okay? So, anyway, Derek and the Tabletops would be coercing a particular vote or a block of vote or a Parrot Head Club or whatever to only vote for them. That's not really growing the genre, because you're just going in and voting it. And I'm not saying anybody was giving away a CD or a T-shirt or anything like that, but it is kind of along those lines of staying within those guidelines. Does that make sense?
Well, if 50 people show up and all vote for the same person and nothing else on the ballot, it's pretty evident that there's kind of a populist kind of thing going on.
Well, yeah. I mean, if the same artist, the same band, the same radio station, the same year after year after year after year, then nobody's going to join, because then they feel like it's all, staged, and it's not real.
That's a good point.
It's a club. And that's always been, and every 2 or 3 years we come back to this. There's been years where we haven't participated because of that very reason, because we didn't want to bring more legitimacy to the whole, making it appear to be bigger than it was off of our hard work. Okay? Because it always ends up the same.
Right.
All right. So, I'm saying all this, it's one thing for me to get on here and complain about what people don't do or things I don't like or whatever, but if they are making a legitimate attempt to correct that, then
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, and I should also point out
for that.
I should also point out when people do good things, right? So
definitely looks like they're trying to do that.
Yes. I think Mark Friedman's trying to do a really good thing.
So he was the one who actually created that document? No?
Yes.
Yes, that was Mark
The TRMA has been around for 15, 16 years now, something like that. Mark Freeman took it over about 5 years ago, I want to say,
That's
something
right.
like that.
Wow.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think that people that are, past winners or, somebody that's, I don't think entertainers of the year or radio stations ought to be on the board. Okay? And I will say this, I don't think radio stations should be on the ballot, okay? And hear me out when I say this, okay? First of all, there would be no Trop Rock without the radio stations, okay?
Absolutely.
Well, besides this one, where is it?
You're not going to Nashville to hear Donnie Brewer.
Okay.
You're not turning on, you might hear some of the trop rockers on Sirius XM every once in a while, something like that. But without radio stations focusing on the trop rock artist and the genre, there would be no trop rock. Okay? So keep that in mind, that there's only really about a handful of radio stations out there that are doing this.
Right.
Now, there's probably more, but in this field of the TRMA, okay?
Right.
Is there actually a definition of trop rock somewhere? I mean, that you
Yes,
referenced
you can go to the TRMA and see their definition.
Okay, all right. So Wikipedia
Yeah.
wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yes, there is a Wikipedia
Yeah,
out there.
Wikipedia
really?
Yeah.
would.
Well,
yeah.
I'll be doggone.
Yeah. It's come a long ways.
It has.
And it's frustrating. It's been frustrating to see the same people win year after year after year. And I'll tell you why. And this is kind of why the SAC Awards were created.
Yeah.
The Shunned Artist Awards.
Right. The sack of nuts. That's because of the shunned artist.
So that's how, what, SAK?
SAC
the
Awards.
Shunned
SAC,
Artist
SAK.
Coalition.
Coalition.
Oh,
yeah.
SAC.
Right.
Yes.
SAC.
Because there are just as many artists out there
That are fabulous.
that are working their asses off, and they're out doing the gigs. They're doing this. They may not be able to be like Derek in the Tabletops and have a bus and live on a bus. They may not want to do that, right?
Right. They may be just working their gigs in their local
Yeah.
area.
I mean, you take Andrew Dean here. He probably plays more gigs around the country than anybody I know,
Yeah.
right?
True story.
But he can go over to, that's why there's other things that have been more legitimate. That's why we join the International Singer-Songwriters Association.
Right.
That's why we join the Coastal Americana, or the Americana
Association.
Music Association,
Yeah.
because not only do we get to introduce ourselves to other artists, but we are also, people are learning about us. Because nobody was learning about us through the TRMA. It's all about Derek and the Tabletops. Does that make sense?
Yep. Wikipedia has pretty kind of a short definition of what trop rock is. And it's tropical rock, known as trop rock, is a genre known, or Gulf and Western.
Gulf and Western.
Is also in there. Is a genre of popular music that incorporates elements and influences of rock, reggae, country, folk, calypso, and zydeco.
Yep.
And pop,
Zydeco.
and pop music.
Yeah.
Yep.
And themes and musical compositions inspired by an island style.
Well, there you go.
So that's what Wikipedia is.
Right. All I know is that until I moved here, I didn't even know of trop rock.
Well, that's the point.
I didn't either, Flies, until I met the Tiki Man.
Yeah.
I knew
Same
nothing.
here.
The only trop
Right.
rock I knew was Jimmy Buffett. That's it.
Yeah, and trop rock. That's what I thought
I
trop
always
rock
thought
was.
that
Oh,
was-
Jimmy Buffett.
Parrot head music. I thought that was
Well,
different. so.
again, like we were talking about earlier, you could go all the way back to Don Ho.
Yeah.
Okay, right. And that's
You could do Clam Bake with Elvis.
okay.
Blue Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Hawaii was all, Now, some would say that when we had Tiki Island Radio, all right, Polynesian, that's more Polynesian style type of music.
Yeah.
And it is. And it's, it's all about the Hawaii Islands and all that stuff.
And how I found Tiki Man Radio in California was looking up Polynesian on
Well, there you go.
The platform known as Luxuria Music.
Yeah.
And they had a Polynesian section or whatever, but somehow the internet steered me to you, and that's how I
Isn't that
found-
great?
Yeah.
That is so great.
My life has never been the same.
But I tell you what, I am so glad that I did discover, met the Tiki Man, discover the genre, because through this I have met so many
Sure.
talented singer-songwriters and people that I would never have had the opportunity or to know or even get familiar with their music if it wouldn't have been for that. And I'm so grateful that I did.
Well, yes, and I'm glad too, because you've also, in return, brought a lot of artists through tropical country, and that's how you grow a particular genre, right? Now,
Yes.
we are focused on coastal Americana, and the reason we changed from your trop rock paradise to your coastal Americana was we wanted a larger umbrella. Okay, right. When you are Trop Rock Paradise, then people only send you their beach songs. Okay, we wouldn't have had Andrew Dean's "Here for a Good Time," only here for a good time, or whatever it is we just played, if he thought I was just a Trop Rock radio station.
That's right.
Right, but we play all kinds of music.
We play everything.
Jukebox Saturday, all this stuff, that's a very diverse type of radio station. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to grow Coastal Americana, but obviously we focus on the Trop Rock artists.
Right.
Sure.
Was Coastal Americana a definition or a term?
No, I made it up.
You made it up.
I made it up when we went fishing. We went to the mountains in Tellico.
Yeah, we took a week off, took a train up to Tellico.
Uh-huh.
I made it up.
And okay, the coastal part makes sense, but Americana.
Americana is such a broad definition of a lot of music, kind of like.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a musical term? I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. It is a musical term. Yes.
Well, let me know.
So, anyway, that's how that all developed. And so I'm commending them. I'm not complaining. I'm commending. I think it's a good thing that they've recognized this.
Yeah.
And they're at least attempting to make it more legitimate.
And I think everybody who really, really enjoys this genre, and not just our radio station, but all the musicians that you like to go hear in Key West and some of these festivals, you should join the TRMA and support these guys.
Yeah, I mean, as we've also always said, and if you go back and read that entire article, and I'll send it to anybody that wants to read it.
Yeah. If
you don't have access to it. But, in that article, they talk a lot about growing this genre, right? And they're basically saying what we've always said. Don't join the TRMA to vote for us.
Right.
I've always said that.
Yes.
Okay, there's no way I'm going to say, get on here, pay $15 or whatever it is.
It's $25 now, I believe, but
$25, whatever it
is,
and just to vote for us. That's exactly what they're trying to get away from.
Is us Tiki Man Radio? Is us Tiki Man Radio?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. I would just, because I wasn't sure whether you were talking first person or
us being Tiki Man Radio.
Mm-hmm. Us being the people that are nominated here on the screen.
I see.
Yeah, Tiki Man Radio. So that's what we've always said. And in return, I've always said you join the TRMA to support the artist. There is a TRMA Artist Relief Fund.
Yeah, that helps them out, especially when, like Rudy Cox had that big hurricane come through. Yeah, stuff like that. And Beth Travers.
Yes. Yeah. So we've always said it that way. I'm just glad they're finally coming around and saying it as well.
Well, with time, you learn things, and you learn, where things need to be changed. And I think the longer that it goes on, the more they're going to learn, and probably the more it will change going on in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted a Good Time is that song they're trying to.
And they're here now, by the way.
They are here. We're going to get them in here right